Alright, welcome back to Flight Sim 2024 and welcome back to the A2A Piper Comanche. And we're parked on the ground here at Elelim, something like that, in Papua New Guinea. And we're going to be continuing our flight where we're trying to get this Comanche all the way back to South Africa from Australia. We already crossed pretty much right across Australia and up into PNG, and we're kind of heading, this is probably going to be the second last leg of Papua New Guinea. We're heading over into Indonesia and all of that. In fact, I think the airstrip we're heading to today is actually in Indonesia itself. I think we're leaving Papua New Guinea today. Let's go and have a look at the map. So we are over here, Whiskey Alpha Victor Echo, which is Elelim, and we're heading over to, it's just in here, it's Whiskey X-Ray 53, which is here somewhere. Now the reason why I'm looking it up here, apologies apologies for the IL-76 that's just taking off over my house. Right, here's Whiskey X-Ray 53. Oh wow, it actually set off some car alarms. That's crazy. In real life. Right, this is where we're going. Bugalaga airstrip. So I think this one is actually, it doesn't really say. I think we're leaving Papua New Guinea, but the reason why I'm looking this up here is because it doesn't actually exist within the Navigraph database. So when we set up our flight plan in the GPS, I'm going to have to just use these coordinates. So that's cool that we have this in here already. So that's the plan for today's flight. I'm not looking at a super long flight, but we are heading ever closer to South Africa, although we've still got a hell of a long way to go. Right, let's jump aboard. Now we can get the door closed. What I am going to do, it's been a long time, if you've been following this series, it's been a long time since I've flown this, because I've just been flying other things and been busy with other stuff. So that was actually a mistake, because what we do want to do is just check out the aircraft, because I haven't flown it for a very long time. I've filled it up with fuel, so 60 gallons of fuel. And let's go to the walk around mode. Okay, flaps. That moves nicely. Lights all look good. That's off. Fuel, we should be full up. Very nice. Okay, chocks are out. All looks fine. I can't remember if I left any fuel selectors on. I must have. Cool. Still 100% history of never having water in the fuel in this aircraft. Oops, why can't I close this now? There we go. Right, that looks fine. Nothing stuck in there. Okay, oil is going to be a big deal, because it's been sitting for so long. It's dark, but I think we have enough, so we'll see. Okay, this one should be full up as well. Right. Right, I don't know if you can hear the IL-76 going overhead again. They take off, and they do like a, not quite a 360, but they come back around over the airport again, and then out in whichever direction they're going. Okay, so we still have that glitch with the, I thought this got fixed. Anyway, lights are working fine. It seems like they've fixed the issue with the lights staying on all the time. I guess in reality you have to have someone inside to do the flaps like that for you. That's good. Okay, so everything feels good. Lights are working fine there. I should also just check the beacon, which is good, which we can hear as well. Good here. Baggage is already packed. Right, let's get these off, because battery, I believe, is going to be an issue. Okay, we don't have that crazy like heat blur from inside. Maybe that's what they fixed. Right, then what I do want to do, because it's been standing for quite a while, is get the engine up and running as quickly as possible, and we'll let the engine run and warm up while we program our flight plan. It's hot inside here. Okay, so pre-flight is done. Passengers, seatbelts. Let's close this. Get that closed. It's probably going to get even hotter in here now, so let's just open this up. Not that that does all that much. Okay, gear switch down, flaps, radios, autopilot, avionics, electrical switches, circuit breakers in, rotating beacon is on, and battery is now on. Fuel selectors, we've got them both up. Mixture rich, throttle cracked, prop full forward, carb heat off, master switch is on, fuel pump. Let's turn that on. Check for fuel pressure. So we should see this come up into the green, which we do. Fuel pump off. Primer, let's give it the full 5, I think. Okay, that's done. Mags now set to both. Prop area clear. It is a beautiful early morning here, by the way. And then let's go with the starter. Oh, we should just check. Okay, parking brake. Let's see if she will start. This is, the sound is just going to irritate me, so let's do that. Mixture, okay. Fuel looks good. Oil temperature is coming up. Oil pressure and our battery. Right, we'll let that engine warm up because that needs to come up as well. Right. Let's then get our avionics on. Okay, we refueled to 60, so we can save that. Very nice. Okay, why did I click on that? We want to go from wave 2, we're gonna have to create a custom waypoint here. So let's actually just go here. Okay, so we've got that there with our terrain radar and everything. That's cool. So we're going to be flying along the terrain. So I think we come along the southern side. We can come through these gaps here. Okay, let's just go back. Yeah, I think that'll be fine. Okay, so let's just create a waypoint. We need our other map over here. So degrees, minutes, and seconds. So we can change, oops, not the comment. This one to that long, and then we have no, it's decimal. Yeah, so we'll have that one. Right, so we're going to go with south 033741, east 136, oops, 3579. And we'll call this Whiskey X-Ray 53. And it is in Indonesia. Okay, cool. Okay, let's create that. Now if we go back here, we should be able to do Whiskey X-Ray 53. Enter that. Very nice. And then I think we can possibly oh, I was looking at this upside down. We're gonna go along the top side of the high terrain, maybe. That's actually gonna be quite interesting. So I don't think we want to try and fly over this. So let's do graphically edit. We'll go up to this one. Okay, that should be fine. We hit done. And now we should be able to just follow our GPS route. Let's get this out of the way. And let's come back up here. Okay, prime is locked, avionics master. I guess we can just do our run up here where we are. Ammeters checked, radios, transponder, altimeter. Let's just cheat and set that. Landing gear, nav lights, parking brakes. And then we'll test the brakes. Let's do... I'll run up here quickly, I think it's fine. Okay, so we'll bring the mixture back to full rich. We'll push it up to 2000 RPM. See, the cylinder head temperature is almost in the green now. When we do this, it'll push it up a bit. Okay, up to 2000. Oil pressure, oil temperature, cylinder head temperature, fuel pressure. That's fine. That's the same. Very nice. Cycle the prop. Back down to 1800. Everything is stable. Nice carb heat. Good. And back down to 1000. Okay, cylinder head temperatures have now come up significantly as we've run the engine a bit. Okay, before takeoff, controls. I need to just check this. That's neutral. Door flaps. We'll do flaps 1 for takeoff. Fuel selectors, fuel pump, mixture, prop, carb heat, engine gauges, strobes. Landing lights. Right, let's get out of here. Okay, I'm gonna get my head tracking on as well. So windsock is that way, so we're gonna turn right and around that side. I guess we're dealing with mostly a crosswind here. Can I actually take off behind us? I think I can. So this way it looks nice and open. I think if I remember correctly, behind us was pretty open as well. Guess we'll find out when we get all the way to the end and turn around. Okay, let's get this on for when we need it. Beautiful day, weather looks great. See how it holds up as we continue. So one thing we know about the weather here is it can change extremely quickly and go from very good to very bad in a matter of minutes. Okay, so we can take off in that direction. We're just going to make an early right-hand turn. That nice crosswind from the right. Okay, gears coming up. We're not making an early right-hand turn, that was a lie, it's a left-hand turn. And it's actually not going to be that early. Okay, flaps can come up. Okay, we're climbing nicely. We don't need to bail out to the left. didn't do was align my HSI up to my compass. Okay, let's go to the climb at 2424. There we go, powering out. Isn't really anywhere to go if your engine fails. So let's hope everything stays as it is. Right, fuel pump coming off, landing lights can come off. Strobes, beacons stay on. And everything else is fine. Up to 4,500 feet. So I think 6.5 will probably be the best here. Okay, got the rudder trim nicely set, so I can take my feet off the pedals now. To 6,000. let's level off at 6.5. A little bumpy out there, it feels. Right, let's get the altitude hold on, and then this heading is almost perfect. Let's just do that. Go into heading mode. Okay, I'm going to ditch the head tracking for now. Up to 24 inches and between 18 and 2400. So we're at 23 and a half, 2200. Right, let's see if we can sort this out. What I should do is that. About there, I think. Not that, is customize these fields. So what can I take out? Ground speed is kind of important, but I think we can actually get that here. Possibly only if we have AVR dialed in, maybe then. Distance we need. Let's take out the actual track then and replace that with we need desired track. 318. Yeah, because then we can dial this in. Oh, it's fixed. Okay. Then I actually don't really need that. It's doing it automatically. I forgot about that. Okay, let's just sort out that rudder trim. Nice. Okay, then we can, when this comes in a bit, we can flip over to using the GPS. Right, we can also put on our headphones. And then we need to check. It's 24 degrees in here, which is pretty much perfect. Okay, we are just over a mile to the right of our route, but that's fine because I wanted to get out from those high peaks that we can see on the left hand side there. that's pretty much bang on 30, and so is that, so I think we're good there. There comes our CDI. Rudder trim needs tweaking again. There we go. So 10 miles to Anlep, then left hand turn, and we basically just follow along just north of the terrain. So according to this, plenty of fuel on board. Just over an hour's worth of flying. comes our left-hand turn. Then I'm just gonna have to keep an eye on this to make sure that the route that I plotted there keeps us out of the terrain, which it looks like it does, right up until the final stretch. So I think we're good there at 6,500 feet. So we're going to cruise along for 45 minutes to an hour here and just keep an eye on that terrain. So I think I'll leave you guys and we can just enjoy a nice peaceful flight for the next hour or so. Right, so we've just made our turn onto that final waypoint we looked at earlier, and now it's just a case of picking ourselves or picking our way through the terrain. Hopefully we won't be picking ourselves off of anything. We need to pick our way through this terrain and then make our approach into the airport. Now from what I remember, this airport has quite a steep, well, it's not even an airport, airstrip. I think it might have quite a steep incline. I think this airport does, but we'll have a look once we get a bit closer. So maybe if we try and head for this gap over here, so we've got two ridges, so that must be this ridge here, and then this red will be that one behind it. So it looks like we're going to head in from that side, so I think that should work fine. Let's just double check this again. And we're pretty close on there as well. And then obviously I had to go and do that like a genius. Right, otherwise everything's good. Flight's been really smooth. No weather, no turbulence, and engine, everything's still in the green. We've still got 3 hours worth of endurance, so plenty of fuel on board. Straight over this ridge here where we're heading now, and then we'll turn out to the right. turns out we're not going to make it across there. Let's just go heading mode. We'll swing out to the right. Okay, we're going to kind of come along the line of the mountain here and then into that gap up there somewhere. I've just moved the map display so you can see how a glide distance indicator is coming along there, so we'll be coming through here just now. Let's just check temperature inside with 21, so the little cool, but we'll leave it as is because when we descend things are gonna heat up again. Okay, closest QNH I can find for the area is 1010. So quite a big difference actually. Oh, look at that. Over 800 feet difference. Basically heading straight for that gap. I think it's over there. Really any options if we lose the engine. according to this, we gotta go to... Our elevation is gonna be about 6,000 feet, 6,300 feet, which is actually a little bit higher than where we are now. So that's gonna be interesting. That's interesting. Why did my rudder just freak out like that? Okay, anyway, let's disengage the autopilot. We can actually switch this off. So from now, I'm not too stressed about the actual altitude that we fly at. I'm just gonna stay visual from here on out. But the next job is gonna be finding the airstrip. So we are increasing altitude here because if it is at 6,300, we need to be a bit above that to be able to spot it easily. Okay, so it should be not too far other side this ridge here. So now it should be pretty much directly in front of us. So it's about 400 feet below us. It should be straight ahead of us on the end of that ridge there. the terrain warnings on, just in case, you know, we are coming in for a landing and I get distracted or something. So might be a little bit annoying, but it is very useful. Yeah, there's buildings all along here. So I'm wondering if it's just below us now, or there, is that the strip there? There's the strip. Okay, so I think we need to approach from behind us. So the question is, do we come from behind this ridge or try and turn in front of it? I don't think we can turn in front of that. We can turn just other side it. Okay, gears coming down. Okay, now I'm turning it off. Okay, flaps full. Yeah, it feels like we're actually very high. But just need to be careful. It is also quite windy. Basically from this point there's no going around. Yeah, just have to be careful of the trees on this end, and then we gotta drop it down other side of these trees. That was rough. I think the plane is alright. So I had to push the nose down because of that last big tree, which maybe I didn't need to push so aggressively. Now let's see, we do have quite a bit of space. There's rocks right here. And then, yeah, I just didn't get the flare right after that. Okay, I don't really want to taxi into this long stuff. So maybe we just park it up here. There's like these rocks everywhere though. Okay, so that was interesting. It did bounce quite hectically, but I think the aircraft will be okay. Let's turn that off. We can turn these off. That's done. That can stay on. That comes out. That comes off. Right, let's go and have a look quickly. So yeah, bit of a rough one, but that is quite a... That's a challenging airstrip for sure. I wonder if in reality the trees at that end are that high. I suppose they could be. Yeah, it is in fact steeper than I thought as well. And that's the challenging thing with the sloped runways, is you need to get that flare just right so that you match the slope before you touch down. And I just didn't get that right, but I think it could have been worse. It didn't sound like we broke anything. It didn't feel like we broke anything. So what we can maybe do... Well, actually, no, let's keep it realistic. So I'm not going to do an inspection through the tablet, because we wouldn't have facilities for that out here. So we would need to then wait until we can fly into an airport that would have maintenance facilities, and then we can do a full inspection. I think that'll be a bit more realistic. So again, everything felt okay, which is the most important. It looks okay. In reality, you would probably see if there was some damage. It didn't veer off to one side or anything. It didn't sound like anything was broken, so I think we're good. But that's going to bring us to the end of this video, as we completed leg number 14 of this almost round the world Australia to South Africa tour. And in leg 15 we'll continue east until eventually we make our way all the way to South Africa. But that's going to bring us to the end of this video. If you made it all the way to the end, thank you so much for watching. As always, I really do appreciate it. If you did enjoy it, if you want to follow along, you know what to do down below, and hopefully I see you in the next one.